Are you worried you have a spending addiction? In this video, I'm going to walk through 10 psychological hacks to stop emotional spending before it destroys your finances. You ever feel down, stressed, or lonely and suddenly find yourself online buying something that you don't need, that you can't afford? If so, you're not alone, and there's a good reason why. Hey, I'm Dr. Brad Klontz. I'm a financial psychologist, an author, and a managing principal at YMW Advisors. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Quick reminder, this video is for educational purposes only, and it doesn't take the place of financial advice or even mental health advice. For help with a psychological or a financial issue, make sure to consult with a licensed professional. Now let's get into it. Hack number 1, retail therapy feels so good, but it's lying to you. You don't have a spending problem. You're just feeling lonely or empty or depressed. It turns out that retail therapy works, but only for just a little while. Shopping triggers a short-term dopamine rush, and it feels so good. You feel a sense of control, excitement, or even happiness. But that buzz fades quickly, and what's left behind? Guilt, shame, and debt. And look, it's getting worse, and we've all been there. We know the rush we feel when we click add to cart, but then when we buy it, we start to feel sick to our stomachs the next day. This isn't a weakness. This is psychology. It's how you're wired. And the first step to changing it is understanding the real issue. When life feels out of control, when we're feeling lonely, when we're feeling depressed, spending money can give us that illusion of taking charge and feeling better. After all, you're deciding to take action. You're choosing to do something, and you're actually getting something arriving at your porch the next day. It can feel productive. It can feel like movement. It can feel like you're taking action. But in reality, it can keep you stuck in the same financial cycle. And it's especially challenging because your brain is wired to reinforce this type of behavior. Shopping feels good because it releases dopamine in your brain, which is a feel-good chemical. As a matter of fact, you're here today because your ancestors were gatherers and hunters. We're wired to do this. But like any high, and the higher you go, the bigger the fall, and the downfall can be brutal. And with compulsive spending, it decreases in effectiveness over time, so that buzz lessens over time. And so what do you need to do? Well, you need to spend more and more money to get the same buzz. So step 1 is twofold. First, it's recognizing that the brain works this way. And second, noticing when it's starting to happen to you in the moment. So where do you start? One thing you can do is start using my money script journal, and I'll link to a free version in the description. Every time you get the impulse to spend money, stop, take a moment, and jot down what you're feeling and how you're thinking before you make the purchase. Jot down the things that you're telling yourself in the moment. What's going through your mind? Then, if you can identify that you're trying to meet an emotional need, you will then look at structuring an alternative. Find a better way to meet that need that doesn't lead to disastrous financial consequences. What's so great about the Money Script Journal is you're going to start to notice patterns and pattern awareness. That knowledge can become your superpower. Hack number 2, ask yourself, what am I really shopping for? Before you swipe that card, stop and ask yourself, am I buying this or am I buying relief? Are you trying to fill a void with your spending? Are you trying to numb your anxiety? Are you trying to escape your boredom? Are you going to try to mask your loneliness or improve your mood? Is that what this is really about? It is for many of us when it comes to spending. This is the root cause of emotional spending. And here's a quick exercise you can use to tackle this. Start journaling. The next time you feel the urge to shop, pause and write down, what am I feeling right now? And what do I hope to happen when I make this purchase? What is it going to do for me emotionally? Ask yourself these questions honestly and take a few minutes. Sit with the discomfort. Let the truth of the matter rise up. You might realize that you're looking for comfort. You're looking for love, a sense of connection, excitement, or even just a little distraction from the chaos or the pain or the struggle in your life. And here's something that most people aren't recognizing in the moment. When you ignore your feelings, they don't go away. No, they go underground and they come out sideways. Shopping is going to feel like an escape in the moment, but it's often an unconscious cry for help. Understanding what you're truly shopping for is going to help you reconnect with what you truly need. And sometimes it's as simple as a rest or a hug. Sometimes, and this isn't unusual, it's a deep need to grieve a loss. When you identify that core emotional driver, you're no longer a puppet. You take control of your spending habits. Hack number 3, name the need and meet it in a better way. Emotional needs aren't the enemy. As a matter of fact, they're your friend. But ignoring them, that's the enemy. Once you've identified your emotional needs, you need to meet it directly. So try this. If you're feeling lonely and that's what you've identified, call a friend and go out for coffee. If you're feeling anxious, journal, breathe, go for a walk outside. If you're feeling bored, try something new, volunteer. One of the best hacks for improving our mood is actually helping other people. If you're feeling sad, don't ignore it. Listen to some music and have a good cry. It can also be helpful to create a personal emotional first aid kit. This could actually be a box that you make for yourself. Fill it with things that energize you, things that feel good, your favorite book, a playlist, a candle, a journal, a stuffed animal. Keep it handy and use it when the urge to spend hits. We all have core emotional needs: a need for connection, a need for excitement, a need for adventure, a need for rest, a need for play. Retail therapy is often a quick and clumsy attempt to try to meet one of those needs, but it doesn't work. And there are richer, more effective ways to nurture this emotional need. So start creating a menu of alternative options. Write them down, put them on your wall. Practice reaching for one of those before you reach for your credit card. Speaking of credit cards, hack number 4, leave the cards, take the cash. Do you want to reduce your spending by 30% immediately? If so, use this hack. Studies show that we spend 12 to 30% more money when we're using credit cards compared to when we're using cash. Why? Because swiping, tapping, it doesn't hurt at all. As a matter of fact, you're very likely to leave the store having no idea how much you spent. But if you're slapping down the $20 bills on the counter, that hurts. And let's talk about the psychology behind it. There's something called the pain of buying. When you use cash, you feel that pain. Your brain registers the loss. Your wallet feels lighter, but with cards, the pain is delayed or it's dulled entirely. So if you can identify those areas that are slippery slopes for you, try this. Create an envelope system. And this really does work. Label envelopes with categories. And I'd like you to pick your slippery slopes. Maybe it's groceries or entertainment or eating out or gifts. Find those areas that you're very vulnerable to overspending. Then in your next pay period, take cash and put it into those envelopes. When the envelope is empty, you're done spending in that category. How does this work for online shopping? Well, it's more challenging, but this is what you can do. You have to make it harder for you to buy. And here's some useful hacks. Delete your stored credit card information. Make yourself enter it manually every single time. That small friction creates space for you to think about what you're doing. And when you're using cash, remember the $100 bill trick. People psychologically have much more resistance to breaking big denominations than they do small ones. So use that to your advantage. Hack number 5, buy it tomorrow, not today. This is the most powerful anti-impulse buying trick, and you can use it to radically transform your financial life. Impulse buying thrives on urgency, but emotions fade. So the next time you find yourself saying you want something, tell yourself, if I want this tomorrow, I'll come back and get it. Use the 24-hour rule. When you want to buy something outside of your spending plan, just wait 24 hours before you make the purchase. This pauses everything. It breaks the automatic loop between feelings and taking action. When you start to calm down, your rational brain will come online and you'll think through the purchase. If you want to go even deeper, use the 72-hour rule. If you're buying online, you can still put the items in your cart. You just don't pull the trigger for 72 hours. And that's 3 days, people. Meanwhile, you can ask yourself questions like this. How will I feel about this purchase next month when the credit card bill comes? Would I still buy this if I had to pay cash? Is this something I really need? Is this something I can afford? Where am I going to put it? These questions help you cool down the emotional intensity. It turns on your rational brain, and you're very likely to make better choices. And if you still want it in 72 hours, you can buy it. Hack number 6, build a wish list buffer zone. Do you want the thrill of buying without the financial and emotional damage? If so, try this. Make a wish list. A wish list is like a holding zone for your emotions. It gives you the excitement and the pleasure and the joy of planning a purchase without the consequences of impulse buying. How do you do this? Create a note on your phone or a special shopping board on Pinterest. Add things you like or things you lust after. Then you just walk away. But revisit that list at least weekly. And what you're going to notice is that some of those items start to lose their luster. But you may find others that really spark joy. And some you'll find turn out to be just utterly ridiculous or unnecessary. You're not saying no, you're saying not yet. Let me think about it. One of my clients called this window shopping for her future self. and it totally rewired her shopping behavior. Hack number 7, track every dollar you spend. This is the number one trick for spending less money. If you do this, you're going to see patterns, you're going to see trends, you're going to see triggers. You're going to see how much you actually spend on coffee or on clothes or on late night online shopping. And this awareness alone is going to decrease your spending. It's simple, but it's powerful. Write down every dollar you spend for 30 days, no exceptions. Try different methods. You can use apps. You could use a spreadsheet. You can use a small notebook that you carry in your bag. The key is consistency. And here's a bonus tip. You can use color coding. Highlight emotional purchases in one color, essentials in another. If you do this, by the end of the month, you're going to have a visual map of your money psychology, and that is going to give you control. Hack number 8, create a weekly fun budget. If you don't do this one thing, your budget is doomed to fail. We're not trying to eliminate joy in becoming financially responsible. We're trying to manage it. Create a fun budget, money that is specifically allocated for treats, for entertainment, or for spontaneous joy. Here's the key though. You're going to decide the amount in advance. You're going to withdraw it in cash. And when it's gone, you're done. This will both give you permission to enjoy yourself and will also build in a hard stop to keep things under control. A fun budget removes guilt from the equation. Wouldn't it feel great to spend some money and not feel bad about it? That's what this is designed to do. With a fun budget, you don't have to feel bad about buying ice cream or going to a movie. It's all part of your plan. People with fun budgets actually report more happiness from their purchases because they plan for them and they're not feeling terrible about themselves afterwards. Hack number 9, get real about the true costs. That $200 impulse buy could have cost you $2,000 over time. Let's talk numbers. Credit card interest adds up fast. And if you're carrying a balance, that $200 gadget you didn't really need may cost double or triple what it's worth. And even worse, you have to factor in opportunity cost. What if you had invested that $200 instead? For example, 20 years from now, that $200 at 8% annual return is over $900. Every dollar you spend today is a trade-off. You're choosing one type of future or another based on your decisions today. Take an hour to review your spending from last month. Pay attention to what felt impulsive or unnecessary. Add it up. Now multiply that by 12. That's your annual leak. And taking a look at that number and having the courage to face it can be a game changer. Hack number 10, if you can't stop, get help. If you can't stop overspending, it's not a character flaw. It's a condition. And the good news is that it's treatable. Compulsive buying disorder affects millions of people. It often starts as a coping mechanism. Many people have a history of trauma, but it can then become a compulsion and create problems of its own. So if your spending is out of control, if it's hurting your relationships, if it's hurting your financial life, if it's racking up credit card debt for you, if it's causing you daily anxiety, it's time to get help. There are therapists out there who specialize in financial behavior. I've got a link to some resources in the description. There are support groups like Debtors Anonymous. There are online communities where people share inspiration and stories around their recovery journey. You're not alone. You're not broken. The fact that you're watching this video and you've got this far into the video means that you have the insight and courage you need to take action. So which one of these 10 hacks hit you the hardest? Let me know in the comments. And more importantly, pick one to try this week. You don't need more stuff. You need more connection. You need more clarity. You need more control. If you found this helpful, get it a like, make sure to subscribe, and definitely check the description where I'm going to load it up with some resources for you. And remember this, you don't have to be perfect. You just need to take the next best step. I'll see you next time.